wind and solar and all of that, super important, but if we can't store it, we can't have clean dispatchable baseload power, right? So ESS is in the storage realm, and I would love for you to tell us about what battery storage is going to do for our ability to deploy.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, and you're absolutely right. It's inspiring to hear what everybody here is working on and all these exciting projects, but we have a challenge with electricity that it's a real-time asset, right? So we need a magic machine to take it from when it's generated to when we need it, and that's what ESS works on. Is, the Energy Information Agency has said that 70% of the new generation coming on next year is going to be an intermittent resource, wind or solar. So how do we bridge that gap? ESS and long duration storage steps in to fill that gap. We build our batteries, which are designed for 8 hours or more of duration here in the US, outside of Portland, Oregon. The LDES Council and McKinsey did a study that looks at the cumulative number from everything you just talked about. And between now and 2040, we think we're going to need somewhere between 30 and 40 terawatt hours of long duration storage to balance the system. That's a lot, right? So our batteries are shipping today to meet that challenge, both for storing bulk renewables, but also building resiliency and reliability into the grid. And that's really important too, because most people, when you talk to them and say, what do you want out of your electricity system? They say, well, when I flip the switch, I want the lights to come on. Mm-hmm. That's the most important basic thing. And we do that with a battery that's built using only earth-abundant materials, iron, salt, and water. So there's no reliance on rare earth minerals, there's no funky supply chain issues. It's really built on the basis of American technology innovation, not mining faraway materials. So we think that's pretty exciting. It's 85% renewable battery, and we can do that from an overwhelmingly US-based supply chain. So to your earlier point, really important to be able to build that here. To unlock the full capacity, the full capability that we're working on here, we need certainty. You talked about price certainty before. We need certainty throughout the tax code. Mm-hmm. So we want Congress to get back on passing the standalone ITC to kind of bring batteries to parity with other renewable resources. And in the bill that the president had proposed, it had a slight for incentivizing American-made products, which we think is a great thing to do, and that should get done. If that got done, S&P and a few others have done forecasts. There's something north of 22 gigawatts of battery projects just waiting to go, but nobody will act because they don't know what the tax code's going to do. Mm. Uncertainty is terrible in our business. Yeah. So Congress needs to get on past the standalone ITC. This is a town where not everybody gets along, to the point somebody made earlier, but we meet with people on the left, on the right side of the aisle, and everybody, when they understand the ability to build US products that are going to win in a global basis and in long duration storage, this is a whole category that we can win in the United States because it's technology based, it's not mineral based. So innovation, technology, it's the winner both for meeting our own needs, but for creating a product that we can export around the world. We do have some good news. You pointed out earlier, the infrastructure bill has some great incentives to help incentivize the building of domestic production. There's about $3 billion to support manufacturing of advanced batteries, long duration batteries here in the US. We think that's fantastic and is something that we can act on now. We don't need Congress to do anything. They've already approved that. So if we do that and those grants roll out, we can incentivize the building of batteries here kind of by American companies, American workers, building American batteries. Again, not just for the domestic production, but for export around the world. And we get a huge amount of interest in this. Talk about the situation that's happening in Europe, and long duration storage is going to be the key to helping to accelerate and bridge that renewable transition away from carbon in Europe. We're shipping product today to Europe, to LATAM, and to Asia. So I would defy anyone to say where else is there an American company shipping clean energy technology to all of those places.
It's amazing. Eric, where is it being deployed in the US?
All over. Of course, the high renewable penetration markets tend to be kind of leading for storage. So California is the biggest market for batteries. Texas now coming on. New York, the East Coast. Every time you hear about a big offshore wind project, every time you hear
guys are
about a
there.
thing, the next thing someone says is, how do I store that over time to firm it? And again, not just a coastal thing. If you look at high penetration markets for wind like Iowa, Nebraska, the southern part of Minnesota, we have places now where the grid prices go negative routinely during the day because we're just mismatched on production versus consumption.
Right, right. I just think that technology, without the need for lithium, et cetera, is just so critical.
And one of your great earth shots.
And it is.
There you go.
Lowering the cost of long duration storage by 90%. All right.